All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Today is day 64. Pay my bills with dividends. I'm Joe McKiddish, and I am about as excited as can be today. So, I'm about to hit the road, go to Salt Lake City. It's going to be a fast, furious 3 days down there. Looking forward to that and seeing our members down there, and new members, and lots of people that I'm going to help out with their businesses. Good stuff. I'm excited. And thank you, everybody who joined the live this morning. First time doing that on YouTube. And I think it worked. the technology was a bit of a pain at the beginning, but I got it working. And, I spent an hour and a half with people asking questions about their businesses, uh, you know, um, potential businesses, side hustles, W-2 jobs, how to make more money with each one of those so you can invest more money. So here's the one thing I can tell you. So things that have helped me make more money starts with goals and mission in mind first. So you don't know how to go get the thing unless you start at the end, right? So it's like the old mousetrap, where or that old game where you've got like the maze and you got to go through it with the mouse. You always start at the end and then work your way back. Start at the cheese and work your way back to the mouse. Same thing with the goals and business and money, right? So you want to be like, okay, what's the end result here? What am I trying to get? And it doesn't have to be how much money you have invested. It's how much money maybe you need to invest or want to invest every single day. So how do you get to the point where you're investing $300 a day? What do you need to backtrack that from? Like from that goal, I want to invest $300 a day, like I'm doing right now, in my own portfolio. And that's my goal every single day. I need $300 to invest. And that was my goal at the beginning when I first started my portfolio. My strategy number 6 is strategy number 7. But when I started that portfolio that I got to the point where it pays all my bills, I knew I'd need $300 a day in order to hit my goals in a reasonable amount of time. So how much effort do I need to put in, and am I in the right vehicle? Right. So that's where I started. It was with that in mind, I need $1,500 extra per week. Not that it's not going out. It's not being paid towards taxes. It's not going towards bills, blah, 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 whatever. Right. I need to make sure that I have enough money coming in that I can have that $300 a day. That was goal number 1. Right. And so I did that. And then I backtracked it to what I'm going to do every single day in order to make that happen. And am I in the right vehicle? Is the business the right one? Is the job the right one? Whatever. And realized that the vehicle I was in couldn't get me there. So I created another vehicle to do it, and went and found money in other places that would get me to my goal. And, so it started with that. So start with what your goal is, how much money do you want to invest every day, and backtrack it from that to what you need to do in order to get the money. So that could be a side hustle. It could be, starting a business that's a profitable one that makes enough money in order to do it. It could be getting a raise at your job. It could be taking on a second job, whatever it takes in order to get the money. And that's the way I saw it was, I was in whatever it takes mode at all times, right? Whatever it takes for me to have that extra $300 a day that I can invest, whatever it takes, right? So do I need to drive a hybrid car around for a while? I did. I drove a Prius, like was a little awkward driving that. And I drove it for years and got made fun of by everyone. and that was fine. I was like, whatever, dude, I'm paying, instead of paying $300 a month in gas, I'm paying $50 a month in gas. So at $250, it's almost one day of investing that I can do just driving a different car. And so, I started looking at things like that. And then I started looking at side hustles that I could do, whether it was mowing lawns or doing lawn cleanups or tearing down a fence, or I started going on back then it was Craigslist. I would go on Craigslist and go, what kind of things do people need done, and can I do that thing, and how much do they want to pay me? Can I make enough money to justify it? Right? Can I go out on a weekend and make an extra $1,000? On a Saturday. And if I can make an extra $1,000 on Saturday, I can make an extra $1,000 on Sunday. That means I had $2,000 to invest that I didn't have before, right? So there were things like that I was doing on a regular to make it happen. So, all right, that's what I got for you today. Start with your goals, write them down, and then go backwards and find out what it takes to hit those goals and see if you can. So, with the vehicle you're in, and if not, find another vehicle. All right, let's get into some investing. So before I do that, I've got something fun here. So Caldwell has their Lost and Found brand, and this is a one nightstand. So if you can see the little nightstand there, that's a fun cigar. So having fun smoking that. And this is my first one of the day because I've been on calls and the live, and I don't like smoking in the house. Well, I would like to, but other people don't want me to. So I This is my first one of the day, and I'm enjoying the shade out here, hiding under this tree behind me. And it's a good day. Good day to be in Idaho, and it's a good day to drive to Salt Lake City. So, all right, let's invest some money. It's gonna be fun. By the way, thank you for everybody on the live who kicked me some cash. I'm actually gonna invest all that money right now. So I think I'm up to almost $30, $29.98. So that plus the dividends today. This is gonna be a fun day. Let's go. All right, before I get started moving money around, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just me investing my own money. And, if you want to hang out for the journey, that's great. If you are entertained or you learn something along the way, awesome. Send you on your own journey. That's great. Primarily, my focus with this was to take my old strategy and you that got me free the first time and got me to the point where all my bills are paid for with dividends. A friend of mine asked me, what would I do different with today's ETFs and tools and things like that? And I'm like, all right, I don't know. Let's find out. So I made a strategy. It took me about 6 months messing around with it. Came up with a strategy I think is going to work. And we've been executing on it every day since. And so that's kind of where we're at with this thing. So let's get into it. All right. So here's the strategy. So this is strategy number 7. I've done 6 other strategies before this. Strategy 6 was the one that actually got me financially free. And I did that one in my backyard, smoking cigars by myself. And this time I wanted to do it on YouTube so I could document the whole process. So that's how I got to this point. So what are we doing with this thing? We're going to grow some dividend income to cover all my personal expenses. And by the way, I don't think I introduced myself. You could probably find out. It's pretty easy. It's on my name badge. But my name is Joe McKiddish. I run Blue Collar Connect as my primary thing I do all day and help business owners run businesses. I don't help them with investing strategy. It's like, I'm not a financial advisor, but, I do help them make enough money to invest. And, I give them some ideas. And if that way they have a starting path to the ideas, get all your bills paid for with dividends. And that way you can grow your business faster, right? So if your personal bills are paid for, you can grow business faster. And that's what I found to be the case. My business grow way faster when I don't have to take money out of the business to pay the bills. And I'm not worried about that's not hanging over in the back of my head going, we need to pay bills this month. I'm able to grow business in the way that makes sense. All right, so personal expenses to cover. This is the well snowball here. So I just took all my bills, wrote them all down, and then I ordered them cheapest first. So we got the water and trash bill done last month, and now we're working on the rest, or this month, we're working on the rest of them, so it's still June. And we're working on the rest of them. So we're working on number 2 right now. And we're going to go look at where we're at on that here in a minute. And then phase 1 is complete. So I broke this into phases. Phase 1 complete. I was buying some weekly payers. The goal was a 35% total return. Some of those have been performing well, some not so well, but that's okay because we're doing some dollar cost averaging and we're going down with the ones that are going down, going up with the ones that are going up, and I think it's going to all work out okay. So using margin. So margins are going to be used once the accounts reach 2,000 in value, which it did back on April 1st. And then I invested $300 a day into the weekly payers until I hit $400 a month in distributions. Once I hit that $400, I called phase 1 done. Moved on to phase 2. So phase 2, I'm taking 50% of the distributions and adding 30% margin on top of it into the monthly payer, some monthly paying ETFs that I've chosen, and then 50% plus 30% margin back into the weekly payers. So the margin total is not to exceed 20% of the portfolio. When I looked at the market this morning, it was way down. It might be way down still. So we're going to take a look and see where we're at on the margin. Make sure we don't go past that 20%. All right, so once the weekly payers are at $400, then I'm still putting in $300, but I'm splitting it. So $300, I'm adding 30% margin to it and splitting 50-50 between the weekly and monthly payers. So I'm buying those evenly as well and dollar cost averaging into those. And then how I chose these, I wanted tax efficient ones, some diversity in there, and then growth. I want them growing historically. And then I want a 10% dividend return. We're way above that 10% average. We're going to go look at that here in a minute. The monthly payers are what's going to pay the personal expenses. So how many days it took to pay each bill? Water and trash bill, 56 days from the time I started this portfolio, 24 days of me actually buying the monthlies. So 56 days total is what it took to pay that first bill, and now we're tracking the next one. So as of today, we're 8 days into buying more monthlies to pay down this bill. So we're going to see if we can do it faster than 24 days. this time. So if we can get this done faster than 24 days, we know we're on track to hit our goals here in a time period that makes sense, which is the goal here originally is to make it pay everything in 1.5 years. We're going to see if that's going to happen. All right. So phase 3, invest into long-term growth and income ETFs. So phase 3 is maybe it was never part of what I was originally going to do with this, but so many people asked me about phase 3, which was what I'm doing in my other portfolio, strategy number 6. So I've got REITs, BDCs, ETFs, closed-end funds that have a long history of share price appreciation, dividend growth. If you want me to add that part into the end of this series, let me know and I'll do it. All right. So here's the dividends that have paid out. So I'm at 19,800 because I'll add the $300 in today. I've gotten $70 from Robinhood. By the way, all the links to everything up at the top up here. I skipped way ahead. What am I doing here? All right, let's go to the portfolio real quick. So portfolio, by the way, like I was saying, all the links to everything up above, the strategy and all these spreadsheets, free in the description below. So do whatever you want to it. And then also down there is a link to Snowball Analytics and Robinhood. We got a Robinhood sign up yesterday. Thank you so much. I'm going to add that in here in a minute. Snowball Analytics signed up yesterday. So any money I make from any source, anywhere related to this, I'm going to reinvest it. Or I'm going to invest it into the portfolio live on here. So from the live today, I got $29.98. So we're going to invest that today too. So I'm going to put that in there. Thank you so much for kicking me some bucks on that live, everybody. We're going to go look at the back end of YouTube, and I'm going to show you where I can see that and how much money it was. So we're gonna go look at it all together. I'm an open book, so you can look at all this stuff. All right. So that said, here's the weekly paying ETFs up here. I'm gonna let you know, like I said, the links are available. You can actually just click on them and then go read about these yourself. These are all links to their pages for each one of these investments. And then here's the monthly ones. The only one that's not hitting our 10% return is ROCY. It's at 7.25%. The rest are over 10%. So our average on the weeklies is 39%. The monthlies is about 16%. So I'm going to try and keep these up to date about on a monthly basis. So I'm not going to go in there every single day and adjust these on or about the first week of the month. I'm going to come in and adjust these numbers to what happened last month. All right. So I'm not going to go through these in the interest of time. Go for it. You can read it on your own. They're in the description. So go ahead and click on it. Looks like somebody's already doing that. All right. So dividends received. Here's the payouts. We got $5 from Robinhood. So we're at $75. I'm going to kick a thing over to Snowball and see if they can pay me out on what money's in there. And I'm going to add that in here when I do that. So it usually takes them about 2 weeks to pay me once I send them the little request. So right now we're at $345 from Snowball. And then so far in YouTube, $170.34. Let's go over to YouTube and take a look here. So, here's the live that I did. And then the super chats and stickers. Apparently people can send me some money that way. I didn't know that until it happened. So thank you so much. Doom Bunny, Jay, Sinswat Capital. Hopefully I said that right. So we're up to $28 and 98 or $29.98 right here. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So, I was very flattered that you would kick me some money. So here we go. Hopefully you got some value out of that live as well. And, everybody got some value out of that. Went over again, business money, how to make more money so you can invest more. It was really the focus. So, all right. So I added that $28 or $29.98 to my total from yesterday. So I'm now at $170.34. So let's go ahead and, put that to $29.98 plus. We'll put that in there and we'll come back and edit that here in a second. So we got to go look at what dividends paid out today. So we got some weekly payers today. So Blocks usually pays out on Monday, but it paid out today. PLTW paid out today. And HOW, wow, look at that payout from HOW today. So last week, HOW went on an absolute tear because Robinhood went on an absolute tear, which is the underlying. And because it was a green week, it paid out outsized dividend bigger than what it normally does. And I like those because last week it didn't pay one of those. So last week it paid out, HOW paid out $8.28. This week, $22.62. So I'm going to take it. $29.59 is the total in dividends that we got today. Let's put that in here. What did it say? 29.59 plus 29.59. So $59.57 in additional that we're going to add to this portfolio. So the reason I'm doing that is, like I said, when I started my portfolio, I was out doing side gigs. And because of the work that I do, I don't have time to do side gigs anymore. So I'm going to take all the money that I get from YouTube, Robinhood, Snowball, and I'm going to invest all of that money into the portfolio. So, you know, you get to watch me do it live, and I'm going to show you behind the scenes, at least on YouTube, and you'll obviously see Robinhood. Snowball's weird, but if I can figure out how to do that, I will as well. Here we have, might even be in the portfolio that I show you. So I do have my live Snowball portfolio on. In the links below, you can actually go see what the portfolio is doing live right in there. So, you know, every time I update Snowball, it updates that live version. So you can actually see what's happening in the portfolio as we go along. All right, so monthlies, we're going to get 2 more before the end of the month. So far, we've received $1,066.21 from the weeklies, $60.17 from the monthlies, totaling at $1,126.34, which is great. So I am using some margin. We finished off the day with $3,816.13 yesterday. And then that margin has cost me $4.94 so far in interest. So I don't know why the cigar is not lighting. It's making me nuts. I'm going to have to tap it off and do something to it. So hold on a second. Let's, I can't be investing money without smoking cigars. That's just wrong. Totally wrong. Something wrong about that. All right. So let me fix that problem. By the way, I got this crazy looking lighter. Look at that thing. This thing I saw in a cigar lounge, and I was like, dude, how much for that thing? $80, right? So I took a picture of them, like, that is so cool. And you know what I did with it? I did something ridiculous. I took it, I was like, I wonder. So I took that picture and posted it and used the image search on Temu. Sure enough, this thing was like $12. So there you go. I can invest the extra money. I wanted it, but not $80 worth or $90 worth. I wanted it like $12 worth. So kind of funny, but I was just suspicious when I picked it up. I was like, you know what? I bet you this thing has got to be made in China. And if it's made in China, I bet those guys are selling it for cheap. So sure enough, and guess who delivered it? Amazon delivery truck delivered it. So kind of funny. All right, enough about Temu. I'm just fascinated with the whole thing. So all right, here we go. Here is where we're at on the monthlies. So today because of the split, we got $300 in cash, $59.57 between the dividends and then the payout from YouTube. And then, so total, $359.57. We're going to add 30% margin. So we're at $467.44. We're going to invest at $233.72 into the weeklies, and then $233.72-ish. We're going to use round numbers. We're going to get close right around that. And so let's look at today. We're down 3.2% today. Absolutely brutal. Totally, market just took a total nosedive for some reason. I haven't looked at the news, but it's probably something goofy. So that takes our the amount down since we started this thing down to 4.19% in growth. So in one day, we went to, I always say investing is like this: 0 to 0, 0 to hero in like 5 minutes. And so, TSII down 6% today. A bunch of them taking a big hit. So we're going to be buying on a red day today. We're going to try and get our cost basis down on as many of these as we possibly can on a red day. So NVII down, so on and so forth. So AIPI took a decent hit. So we're going to start with those because I'm trying to bring AIPI and FEPI, which used to be monthlies, now converted to weeklies. I need to bring them up to even number of shares with the other ones. So we're just dollar cost averaging into those every single day until we get them even, Steven. So let's get our calculator. We're at 0. Let's do AIPI. And yeah, I talk with a cigar in my mouth, so, oh well. I like to. All right. I don't know if you can understand me. That's all right. Let's go ahead and increase our position here. All right. Do a limit buy, 36.61. We'll just put it at current bid price on both these since they're red. Let me turn up my volume so we can hear the chime of freedom when those orders go through. Let's do the same thing with FEPI. That one went right through. That was not nearly loud enough. I got to turn that all the way up. I want everybody to hear it. All right, we'll do limit 42.44. So what? Oh, I should use the calculator here. So AIPI, we just did that one. 30. We're going to call that $37 plus. Febby is 42.44. We're just going to go ahead and put that one in, and we'll call that $42 plus $42. We're at 121 now. All right. So let's see what we're at 47 on that we're down in heavy. So Yeth, obviously, absolutely brutal. Crypto's just been tanking. So we're going to get that one so ridiculous cheap, it's going to be crazy. So we'll do limit. We'll just put that in at the current bid price, $8.32. We're going to call that plus $8. So we're at 129. YBTC, same thing. That one's actually getting slammed too. Anything crypto is just getting nailed. So we're just going to dollar cost average down with them. And somebody asked me the question on whether I think that we do plus 17 bucks, or at 146, whether or not I'm going to be able to dollar cost average down with them enough to control the price drops on the crypto stuff. The answer is I don't know. So so far not. I've been dollar cost averaging down with them, and they've been going down faster than I can keep up. That's just the reality of where we're at with crypto ETFs right now. So and that's okay. You know, I took a swing on those, and sometimes you take a swing and sometimes it works. Sometimes you hit a home run. We're going to find out over time whether or not these are home runs or misses. So, all right. So NVII, we're going to do that at $24.19. So plus $24. We're at 170 now of our 233. So what else are we down in that we can, you know, none of the rest of these are down that we need. So to bring up to 48. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and buy blocks and Chippy. Actually, there's not enough room to buy both of those. Let's go ahead and put Chippy because it's down 7% today. That has not happened in a long time. So let's go ahead and buy Chippy, $83.16. I'm just going to put that bid price in. We're going to do plus $83, and that's going to put us over our amount anyway. So 253 bucks. So let's let her rip, and see if those weeklies will go through. All right. On the monthlies, I've got a bunch at 10, or at 3 at 10, and a bunch at 9. So let's see which ones at 9 are down the most. So QDevo down 3%, XQQI down 3%, XSPI down 3%. So let's get those first. So QDevo, let's do that one. Let's bring that up to 10. We'll do just a limit buy on that. Current price is $29.33. Bid is $29.34. Let's go current price on that and see if we can get it. So that one went right through. So saved ourselves a penny. So QDevo, we're going to call that $29 plus. All right, 29. Started off right. All right, XQQI, we'll increase that. We'll do limit buy 21.14. We're just going to put them in at bid. So plus. That was not 21. It was 51, wasn't it? 51 plus $51. I don't know why I said 21. So we'll do that. So we're at 80 bucks so far. We'll do plus. We'll do XSPI down here. Increase position, limit. I'll just put it in at the bid price, which is 4 cents less than current. We'll call that plus $49. 129. So some of these have been ripping right through. Other ones are holding out. That's okay. So we've got, now what's next? So QQQI down almost 2%, which is crazy. You know, I haven't really seen that since I've been buying QQQI. All right, so plus $55 equals, all right, we're 184. So we're getting pretty close. I think that with SPY-I, we're going to be right at our number, real close. So we're going to put a limit in SPY-I 28 or 52.28. So we're just going to put that one in, and we're going to call that plus $52. All right, we went $3 over. So we're at 236. So 236. So I'm going to give all these a second. Why, drink some water. I've been talking nonstop for, I don't know, give or take 5-6 hours. So in between doing videos, I've been on phone calls. That just means I need to smoke more cigars and drink more coffee, I think. That's the name of the game there. All right. All right, NVII went through. Let's go Yeth. Let's add that one in. Let's go ahead and replace that and bump that a penny. That one went right through, saved a penny on that one. Let's go up a penny. We're still 2 cents less than current. See if that one goes through. XSPI, we're going to go up a penny on each one of these until we get them to go. That one went through. All right, we're at current price on SPY, and that one went through. Oh, both of them went through. That sounded so weird when both of them chimed. You know, it's interesting because some days they don't chime at all, or I get like a few of them to chime, and then this time they're chiming all over the place. They chimed so much it went on my computer. So, all right, super fun. All right, let's see where we're at on margin. All right. We're probably pretty close to that 20% now, I bet, with a big down day today. All right, so we're at portfolio value $21,698. So we're going to just call that, you know, let's do the math on this calculator. So see if I can copy and paste that. I don't think I can, but we'll find out. 21, see if it'll go. Nope. All right, we're going to do 21,689. We're just going to do 21,700. All right, 21,700 divided by or multiplied by 0.2 is $4,340. So as long as we stay below $4,340 in margin, we're good to go. So we're using margin $3,964. We're still low risk. Even if we were at 30%, I believe we would still be in the low risk zone. But I don't like going much above 20%. And so we're going to see if the market keeps crashing tomorrow and see if we have to need to let dividends pay down the margin a little bit. But right now we're at real close to that. Adding that 30% margin in every single day has been bumping this margin up. So we're at 396495. 396495. 396495. 3964.95. All right. I don't know if that's going to go, but yeah, there it is. All right. So we're at almost $4,000 in margin used. But again, the reason I'm doing that over here, if I didn't have the margin in, I would only be investing $180-ish into each one. Instead, I invested over $233. So we're that $50 difference, almost $40, $44, we'll call it difference, means I can buy an extra share on either side or more on either side on the weeklies and monthlies, which speeds up the process significantly. So, all right, let's see what we bought today that we got up to 10. So QDevo for sure, QQQI. So let's bump this. So QDevo, QQQI, got those to 10. SPY and XQQI, we got those SPY and XQQI. Got that one. I think that's all of them. So XSPY, I think we bought that yesterday. Let's go make sure. Nope, we got that one. So that's at 10. All right. Is that all of them? One, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 at 10. So let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So everything else is at 9. So we have 125 shares of the monthlies. We're now at estimated dividends of $85.12 of the $130 we need. So we're at $44.88 left before our bills are paid. So 8 days in, since we paid the last bill. And so how many days is it going to take? So we've got some votes over here from everybody who voted the first few days of us investing into those the monthlies since we paid that first bill on how many additional trading days it was going to take. So we've got from 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, so on and so forth. And the biggest number is 24 days. So we're going to find out how long it's going to take. I don't have an estimate because I think it's more fun to just let it ride out. That's the reason. I'm just going to let it ride out. So I'm not gonna swing at it. I'm just going to let it go. All right. So, all right. So what did we do today? Let's go ahead and sync up Snowball Analytics here. I'm going to go all the way back to Monday of last week and see if we pick up any additional dividends in there. All right. There we go. Sync is done. So let's go ahead and refresh this. All right. I don't know if they went through, but that's okay. We're gonna go take a look at it. At least one of the ones that we bought today over in the dividend count or the portfolio. Let's go look at the holdings and let's see if QQQI is 10. Yep. So it did sync them over. So as of today, let's go over the dividend calendar and look. Estimated is $730.72 a month. Estimated for the rest of this month, total this month would be $646 in dividends that we're expected to get. I thought that was going to be higher, but if we have too many more of these red days, next week is not going to pay out that well. So we may be lower than that. So let's go take a look at what we're able to do here. So we have the $35.75 today from these ones. And then tomorrow we're going to get NVII, Top W. I don't know if these have declared yet. Yeah, they did. So last week was kind of interesting. So Top W up 28% on their payouts, as you can see, $28.20 or 28%, and the NVII down 18%. TSII declared exactly the same dividend as last week. And then WMTI, same thing. They're not paying out huge, but they are paying. And so we're going to get paid on all those, $38.02 from those this week. And we're a little bit higher than last week on each one of the days other than Monday because block should have been over here. All right. So as far as this week, we're going to get less on Thursday, but that's because all those monthlies paid out on Thursday last week. So this week, we just have our normal round of monthlies paying out. So we got AIPI or weeklies, AIPI, Chippy, FEPI, TDAX, TSYX, YBTC, and YETH all paying on Thursday. So it's going to be a big rest of the week. We got over $90, almost, is that over $100? Anyway, we're going to make some good money this week. It's going to be pretty dang close to our biggest week yet. So our biggest week was actually a couple weeks ago when we hit $144.09 last week. And this week we're already at $44.89. So with the dividends from tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to see if we can have the biggest week of weeklies yet. And I'm hopeful that that's the case. And we'll be able to invest a lot more. It's going to be awesome. All right, so let's go look at a couple more things here. Number one is, let's go back to those holdings. Total profit, HOW now is above Chippy because Chippy took an absolute nosedive today, and those two have been kind of neck and neck for the past few days. So HOW up 30% total, and as you can see, total profit here on Chippy is right around 30% as well. Then blocks, TSYX, TDAX, IWMI is now up here, which is kind of interesting. So the Russell 2000 fund from NEOS is now up and in the mix. And Aggie, I did buy that fractional share with that fractional share. I got two fractional shares actually, so I need to go change that. This should be $80. So I got two fractional shares of Caterpillar, and once Robinhood allows me to sell those, then I will, and hopefully they're back over $10. So we're down a little bit in them, but all of these ones that they gave me fractional shares of, I'm waiting for them to get back to $5, and when they do, I'm going to sell them. Now, the Microsoft one, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it might. We might get back up to $5, but I'm going to hold on to it because I don't like losing money, and I don't like my Snowball Analytics looking funny. So I'm gonna wait till those get back to $5, then I'll sell them and add them into the mix. So currently we're at 805 shares between the weeklies and monthlies. Our actual portfolio value, if you don't take into account the margin, is $25,631.74. So, not bad for, 64 trading days. Making a huge dent here, as you can see. We're making some moves. So we're almost back to even with the massive market drop today. So we are at, we're down in our capital gain a little bit, but our total dividends received makes up for it. And then dividends so far this week have not calculated into that. So that said, let's go see how we're doing against the S&P 500. So yesterday, if you remember, we were like 1.5% above the S&P. Now we're 0.5% below the S&P. So, NASDAQ 100 has been taking a hit. So as you can see here, it's at, we're 5% off of the S&P or the NASDAQ, and then Russell 2000 has actually been performing fairly well. We're 5% below that. So with this portfolio, I have an expectation over time that we will keep up and keep pace with the S&P 500, but the NASDAQ 100 and the Russell 2000 typically beat me as far as growth is concerned. So, and that's fine with me. I don't really see that as a problem. The goal here is not to grow the portfolio value as fast as the NASDAQ or Russell 2000 or even the S&P for that matter. The goal is to grow the income, and so far so good on that. So this portfolio has been performing like I thought it would. So when market's down, we're going to see outsized drops. When the market goes up, we're going to see outsized gains because a lot of these funds are leveraged. So they've got a little bit more on there. All right, so let's go over to the dividends here. So Chippy still absolutely crushing. HOW is getting up there. I don't think that's going to hold. It's gone up, up and up and up, and whether it's going to stay there, I don't know. But I typically don't like seeing one of these more than 10%, but we're so early on in the portfolio that that's just where we're at. We haven't been buying the monthlies that long, but once we invest more into the monthlies over time, Chippy is going to drop, and it has been dropping as a percentage of how much you were getting paid. So right now it's a sizable chunk of the estimated dividends. All right, so let's go look at future payouts. Dividends received. Chippy's just been, just paying like crazy. And then we've got like a little bit of drop off, and then we're just going straight down. So HOW has paid out the second most, NVII, then Top W, and so on and so forth. All right, so dividends received so far. Obviously, this is not taken into account what paid yesterday and today. So we actually have received more dividends this month than we did last month, up to total last month. So we are ahead of the game on that. So that's kind of where we're at on that. I really see us kind of tapping out probably around $600 to $650 this month. I was hoping it was going to be a lot higher, but we've had enough red days in there that the dividends on those funds, the different funds, have paid out less than expected. But that's okay. That's to be expected when we have the market down swings like that. All right. That being said, let's go look at the dashboard and see what's been growing and what's not been growing. Let's see if we can get down there. All right, today, the Walmart fund of all things is number one in growth. Then I've got the energy infrastructure funds. So the MLPI and SRV, the energy funds, those are growing. The Microsoft one's up in there. Exxon's up in there, those fractional shares. But Chippy, way down today. And because of the size of it, it's taken a massive hit. TSII, NVII, TDAX, HOW, as you can see, just everything else is in the red. So a little bit of growth here, but most things are down today. So let's go look at the market as a whole. S&P's all down pretty heavy today, 1.41%. And let's go look at what I'm doing over here as far as whether I'm up or down. So as you can see, down 3.71%, and that's because of the additional leverage that we've got on a lot of these funds. On down days, we're going to see a bigger hit. Up days, we should see a bigger uptick, and so far that's been holding to be the case. So NASDAQ down 2%, Russell down 1%. Anytime we see these big drop-offs, I will take a bigger hit, outsized hit in this market or in this portfolio. So that's okay with me. I think that's the way it's just going to go, and we're just going to keep on rocking with it. The portfolio is doing exactly what I expected it to, and when we see a big outsized hit in the market, I expect we're just going to see those drop-offs. So, hopefully it doesn't keep going down like that. Hopefully it bounces back, and I'm not sure why it's happening. So stock market fall, global chip sell-off, blah, 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 AI doubts. Yeah. All right, so same thing that's been going on. Every time that happens, the market goes down. A bunch of people freak out. They sell their shares, and then all the rich people buy again, and then wait for it to go back up, and then sell, and they keep doing that. Why? The people who don't know any better are buying high and selling low. Me, I'm just going to buy dividend investments, and I'm going to make more money every single month in income. So that's the way we're going to do it, and it's been fun, and I am looking forward to hitting the road, going to Salt Lake. So with that, happy investing, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow from Salt Lake.